Okay, so we are going to start with the environmental chemistry, which is air and water. Okay, air, it makes up our atmosphere, right? So if we talk about clean and dry air, it have three major components in it. The most abundant gas present in the air is nitrogen, that is 78%. Then we have oxygen, and then we have a carbon dioxide, and the noble gases which are present in their existence is actually smaller than 1% as a whole. And these mixture of gases collectively form air. And if air contains only these gases, then it is considered as clean and dry air. Okay. Now, when we talk about photosynthesis, basically, photosynthesis is the reaction that is taking place in the plants which used up carbon dioxide. So if you see, the amount of carbon dioxide is actually very small, but that is enough to do the photosynthesis for all the plants present on the earth. And photosynthesis takes place in leaves in the presence of chlorophyll, and it uses energy from the sunlight, or you can say it uses light energy. So when plant leaves absorbs light energy in the chlorophyll, that they take up water from the roots and carbon dioxide from the leaves. There are small openings in the leaves called stomata. From there, carbon dioxide is diffuses inside. So these two things reacts in the presence of light in chlorophyll in the plants to form glucose and oxygen. So as a result, oxygen is released in the air and carbon dioxide from the air is used up by the plants. Is this understandable?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, Amar. Okay, just note these down, then we will proceed further. Yes, from 2023 onwards, gas collection is not in the syllabus. You can also check. Yeah. We have started environmental chemistry. First is yeah. So by the photosynthesis, there is a balanced level of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the air as needed, because what plants will do, plants will use up the carbon dioxide and releases the oxygen in the air, and that oxygen is taken up by all the animals and the humans for the respiration, and they release the carbon dioxide. So see, in this way, carbon dioxide is being released and used up from the environment, and in the same way, the oxygen is also being released and used up from the environment. So there is an ongoing cycle which is continuously going on. सर ये सबसे पहली स्लाइड। Yes. Yes, then you guys just leave the space. You were late. Okay, so do it later. Yes, Ammar and Khatija, are you guys done?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Now, the second thing is about pollutants present in the air. So these are the pollutants which are now included in our syllabus. Okay. Now, first we are going to discuss the pollutant, its source, and the adverse effect of these pollutants. Okay. So one is carbon dioxide. Is carbon dioxide is a pollutant? Yes. So then why plants
Yes.
use it? Actually, carbon dioxide turns to be a pollutant when its level in our atmosphere exceeds a certain limit. If it stays under that limit, then it is not considered as a pollutant. Okay, it's a further a greenhouse gas which actually keeps our earth warm. If there is no greenhouse gas in our atmosphere, then the average temperature of the earth is going to be minus 19. The average temperature, which is now 25 degrees Celsius. It is going to be minus 19 degrees Celsius. So if carbon dioxide's level remains in a certain limit, then it is not a pollutant. Otherwise, it becomes a pollutant. Okay. Naturally, we have seen that humans and animals and even plants, when they respire, they produce carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide which is released in our atmosphere is actually used by plants to make the food. So that's how the carbon dioxide levels remains almost same and under that certain limit. But what will happen when we start combusting fossil fuels to get energy, to things run, the level of the carbon dioxide start raising and it crosses that certain limit. So after that, it leads to global warming. Then what will happen? It leads to global warming. It causes climatic changes. And further, it due to the higher level of carbon dioxide, the Earth's temperature is getting more warmer and warmer. The glaciers start melting, and as a result, the sea level start rising. Now, next pollutant is carbon monoxide. It is formed when the fuel burns incompletely. So in that incomplete combustion of the fuel, carbon monoxide is formed. It's very toxic gas. Even it causes respiratory problem and cancer. And beside this, it's a fatal. If any human or any living organism inhale carbon dioxide so much, so it can be die at that moment only. It's that much fatal. Carbon monoxide. Yeah, carbon monoxide. Then the next we have a methane that is normally, formed by the decomposition of a vegetation and the waste gases from the animal digestion. It is also a global greenhouse gas. It causes global warming. climate changes leads to the higher temperature on the earth, and when the temperature goes higher, the snow melts and the sea level rises. Yeah, CH4 is flammable. Then we have a nitrogen oxides, NO or NO2, both are collectively called NOx. Okay, they are formed from car engine. When the fuel burns in air. The car takes in air inside, not just oxygen. Okay, because air, we have a air. So when that air goes inside the engine where there is a very high temperature and the sparks due to the high temperature and the continuous happening of the sparks, nitrogen also reacts with oxygen in the car engine and form these oxides. And when they escapes to the earth, they accumulate in our atmosphere. And when they accumulate in our atmosphere, and after that, when the rain happens, if they dissolve in the rain, forming nitric acid, and that is called acid rain. Beside this, they also cause photochemical smoke, like that which observed in Lahore few days back. So, and other problems are respiratory problems. Then we have next pollutant is sulfur dioxide, SO2. It is also formed from the combustion of fuels, normally which contains sulfur compounds. So how fuels have sulfur compounds in it? If we see, we will find that sulfur found under the earth, underground earth. Fossil fuels are also found underground earth. So there are so many times that the sulfur compounds gets mixed with the fossil fuels, and when we extract the fossil fuel from the underground, we will get a contaminated fossil fuels having the sulfur compounds in them. So when we burn that fossil fuel, the sulfur also burns and combusts in the oxygen, forming SO2. And when that SO2 accumulated in our earth, and after that, when the rain happens, that causes acid rain, because sulfuric acid will form when these sulfur dioxide and sulfur dioxide molecules dissolve in the rainwater. Is this understandable to all of you? Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I will share the whole PDF with you guys, and I will give you the explanation of both the chapters. They are very small, air and water, so we will be done by today with both the chapters. Is this fine with everyone? Sir?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, Khatija.
Sir, can you please explain the nitrogen dioxide that is coming from the car engine?
Yes. Okay, just give me a
So
minute.
can you
Yes,
please explain?
you are right. CO2 car exhaust. CO2 and CO both. Okay. How the car engine makes car run? Yes, Khatija.
When the fuel is burned inside it.
Okay, how fuel is burned inside?
In presence of temperature.
And what else? Do we need any other thing
Air.
beside temperature?
Air.
Air. Actually, we need oxygen, but the car engine takes the air inside, and that in that air there is oxygen, right? So, but if the air is going inside, so it means not only oxygen, also nitrogen is going inside the car engine, right?
Yes. Yes.
So when the oxygen burns the fossil fuels or the petrol or the diesel inside the car engine, there is a very high temperature and there are sparks taking place in the car engine, due to which the nitrogen in the air which is present inside the car engine also reacts with the oxygen to form nitrogen oxides. Is this clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. If any one of you have any other question? Okay. Now, greenhouse gases. Why we call them greenhouse gases? Because they have a effect same like greenhouse. What is greenhouse? Yes. What is greenhouse? Yes, Manaya. You don't know what is greenhouse. Okay. Yes, anyone? Ammar, what is greenhouse?
So I don't,
No, greenhouse. Yes, Ammar.
so I don't know.
You don't know. Yes, Aisha, Usman Ghani, and Aisha and Khatija.
Sir, I think the temperatures are maintained here.
Yeah, where the temperature is maintained. Good. I am sure that everyone have seen the greenhouse. Khatija was right that we use it's for to maintain the temperature. See, this is the greenhouse. From what it is made up of? Yes, glass. And inside that glass, there are plants which are grown. Okay. So why we do make it with the glass? What it will do? It will keep the inside warmer. It is the same thing that you can see in summer. If you park a car somewhere where there is no shade in a warmer day, and after some time when you again go inside the car, you will feel inside the car there is a warmer temperature than the outside. Why it is happening? That the glass is allowing the radiations to come inside, but it is not allowing all of the radiations to go outside. Some of the radiations stay trapped in that cabin of the car in the same way inside the greenhouse, and as a result, they get warmer. Is this understandable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. We are calling them greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gases doing the same thing around our Earth. That's why we call it greenhouse gases. What the gases do, they allow the radiations from the sun to reach the Earth, but when the radiations reflected, but these gases does not allow all of the radiations to escape our atmosphere. Some of the radiations are stay inside our atmosphere, and as a result, the temperature rises. And that's why we need some amount of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. As I have told you earlier, if there is no greenhouse gas in our atmosphere, then the average temperature of the Earth is fall to minus 19 degrees Celsius. And right now it's 25 to or 30 in between. That is the average temperature. So what will happen if we are doing such activities which are causing more greenhouse gases to be produced in our atmosphere? There is so much accumulation of these greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. So if there are so many greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, so they are going to trap more and more radiations in the atmosphere, and as a result, the average temperature of Earth is rising day by day, and it will cause in climate changes, global warming, flooding in the low sea level areas, and the rising of sea level.
तो एक्सेस अच्छा नहीं है
Hmm?
थोड़ी सी अमाउंट
Yeah, it doesn't mean we didn't need them at all, and it also doesn't mean that we need them in a very large amount.
सर ये बिल्कुल गिलास जैसे काम करते हैं उसमें वैसी अर्थ
Yeah, so we call them, that's why we are calling them greenhouse gases, because they are creating the same effect around the whole Earth as the greenhouse do. Now, is this understandable? Okay. So these
Sir,
are the consequences of greenhouse gases which will be faced by us if there is a higher level of greenhouse gases in our Earth, which is actually increasing day by day. Is this understandable? Okay. Yes, Aisha, Usman Ghani, Khatija, and Ammar. Is this clear to all of you?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes. Yes.
Sir,
Yes, what is your question?
सर आई वाज आस्किंग कि जो लाइट रिफ्लेक्ट होती है वो एटमॉस्फेयर से रिफ्लेक्ट होती है।
क्या चीज अट्रैक्ट होती है?
रिफ्लेक्ट जो सन से रेडिएशंस आ रही हैं वो एटमॉस्फेयर से रिफ्लेक्ट बैक होती है।
No, they reflect back from the surface of after striking the surface of the earth.
ओके।
Okay. Now, the consequences of acid rain. What happens when the acid rain occur? It will corrode and deteriorate the building structures, especially the marble structures which are outside, because marble is made up of calcium carbonate, which is a metal carbonate, and all of the metal carbonate reacts with the acid to form carbon dioxide gas. So the building structures having limestone, marble, and metals outside, these all gets deteriorated and affected and corroded by the acid rain.
Or should CO2 reduce?
With if there is a marble.
So calcium carbonate is metal carbonate.
Yeah, calcium.
So reaction.
Yeah. In the same way, if there is a metal structure, so acid and metal gives you salt and hydrogen. So again, reaction will occur, and the metal or the metal carbonates, decompose.
H2CO2.
They actually corrode. Okay. Further, it damages forests, aquatic life. It also damages the crop, lowers the pH of the soil, so the acidity increases, and as a result, plants not grow well.
Acidity will increase.
Now, am I clear, Khatija? We increase the acidity by adding calcium oxide in it. That is a base, so it neutralizes the acid. And we also add calcium carbonate because it also reacts with the acid, it neutralizes the acid. So as a result, the acidity again raised to the neutral. Okay. 1 minute. Now, how to reduce these effects? First, we are talking about the global warming, the greenhouse gases, how we will reduce the level of greenhouse gases. What we do, if we will plant more and more trees, so they will use those greenhouse gases. Livestock farming, because the digestion of the animals and their waste gases produces methane. So if we reduce the livestock farming, that will help us to reduce the level of greenhouse gases. Decreasing use of fossil fuels, because fossil fuel always produce carbon dioxide on burning. If carbon monoxide is formed, that also readily reacts with the oxygen in the air to form carbon dioxide. And the increased use of other alternative energy sources which are renewable, and hydrogen fuel cell can also be used. Renewable energy sources which can be used are wind, solar, biogas, and tidal.
So
biogas is the fuel which is made from the ethanol. So that's why we call it renewable, because ethanol can be produced by the sugar cane.
So biogas to waste.
Yeah, waste, and there is a one. Yeah, I think you are right. The biodiesel is made from ethanol, and the biogas is made from the humus or the waste. So if we increase the use of these renewable energy sources, then the level of carbon dioxide and methane is reduced. Okay. Now, how we will control the acid rain? We have to reduce the level of nitrogen oxides and nitrogen monoxide, because they are always be forming in the car engine. So now what happens? What we did, we put the catalytic converter in the exhaust of the cars. So they didn't allow nitrogen oxides to release in the atmosphere. What it do, it reacts with carbon monoxide, nitrogen monoxide, and sometimes if there is an unburned fuel which didn't burn, they all react on the surface of the catalytic converter, which is made up of rhodium, platinum, or palladium. These metals are used to make the catalytic converter. And as a result, if there is a carbon monoxide, which is converted into carbon dioxide, and nitrogen oxide converted into nitrogen. The structure of this catalytic converter is honeycomb. It's like this, which results in increased surface area So more and more gas reacts readily and turns into the less harmful gases. Okay, is this understandable to all of you?
Yes.
Okay, after this, the SO2, the another sulfur dioxide gas, which is also causing the acid rain. There are two ways. One is called low sulfur containing fuels. Either we have to use the low sulfur containing fuels, so lesser amount of sulfur dioxide is produced and released in the atmosphere. And the other is flue gas desulfurization. It is the process that what we do before letting the waste gases escape into the atmosphere. That is basically done in the chemical plants or the chemical industries. We passes the gases through calcium oxide. So calcium oxide is a basic oxide because it's a metal oxide, and sulfur dioxide is a non-metal oxide, so it's an acidic oxide. So what calcium oxide would do, it absorbs all the sulfur dioxide from the waste gases. And then these waste gases are released in the atmosphere. And this is how it absorbs in the calcium oxide. This is how sulfur dioxide is being absorbed. Yes. If any one of you have any question till here, please ask. Yes. Okay, let me.
इसका नाम क्या है?
Calcium sulfite.
सर आप वो डिवाइस का लिखना है
Yes, am I audible now? Yes, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what acid rains do, basically, acid rain means that the acid is present in the rain. So what will happen, the sulfur dioxides and the nitrogen dioxide are non-metal oxides, and the non-metal oxides are usually, acidic oxide. So when they dissolve in water, they form acids. So when the rain starts after a long period of a time, so these gases are accumulated in the atmosphere. So when the rain starts, these gases dissolve in the rainwater to form an acid. And as a result, the water that is fall to the earth is not a water, it's basically acid. So that's why we call it acid rain. So what did acid rain do? Any structures which are outside containing marble, calcium carbonate, or any other metal carbonate or metals, so they all get corroded because they all react with the metal and being used up. So that's how acid rain affected. Beside this, acid rain affect the aquatic life, the forests, the crops as well. And it lowers the pH of the soil. So if the soil is not treated again to maintain its pH, the crops which will be grown have a stunted growth, means have a smaller growth. They are not grown properly. Yeah. Yes. If any one of you have any question till here, yes, Ammar, Aisha, Usman Ghani, and Khatija.
No, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now, after this, we have the next chapter. That is, what are these two are very small chapters. So I'm going to share the notes with you guys.
सर कन्वर्टर का दोबारा बता दें.
Which
इस टाइम
one?
आपकी वॉइस क्लियर नहीं थी.
Which one?
कैटलिक कन्वर्टर.
Okay. What catalytic converter do? It is placed in the car exhaust from where the gases have been
Sir,
released
catalytic
from the
converter.
engine. Hmm? So, as we know that in car engine, these gases are formed, which causes acid rain and photochemical smoke as well. So after placing the catalytic converter does not allow these gases to be released in the atmosphere. Besides this, catalytic converter also doesn't allow carbon monoxide to be released in the atmosphere. On the surface of the catalytic converter, these gases react and turn into carbon dioxide and nitrogen. And then carbon dioxide and nitrogen are released in the atmosphere. So that is what catalytic converter do. It's a solid, but it is made, its structure is made like a honeycomb structure. So all the gases can pass through this, and this honeycomb structure makes its surface area very bigger, and as a result, all of the gases can easily be reacted inside the catalytic converter and turns into carbon monoxide and carbon monoxide turns into carbon dioxide, and the nitrogen oxides turns into nitrogen only. Further, it will do one more thing. If there is an unburned hydrocarbon means the molecules of the hydrocarbons which were not combusted in the engine and escapes to the exhaust. So it can be like C6H14 or it can be like C7H16. Basically, this is the formula of petrol. Petrol have these molecules. So they came, if they release this in the atmosphere, they are also going to cause global warming, because if you see, they have carbon and hydrogen as methane. So what this catalytic converter do it also turn these into carbon dioxide and water as well. There are hydrogen, right?
Water form.
Yes. So in the car exhaust, you didn't see water. If you start in the morning, you will see. Otherwise, that is a very high temperature. So water formed in the form of steam, not the whole complete liquid. Yes. Is this clear? Yes, Ammar, Aisha, Osman Ghani, and Khatija. Yes, Manahil, clear? Yes. Okay. Now next we have water.
Yes.
Okay. Water, very simple molecule having a covalent bond, one oxygen atom bonded with the two hydrogens, right? And we consider it as a universal solvent because it can dissolve variety of substances in it. No other solvent can dissolve that number of solutes in it as the water do. Okay. So when we talk about pure water, it means pure water is the chemical substance which contains only H2O molecule and nothing else. But to get the pure water, it is impossible. You are not going to get a pure water. Okay? Because naturally we couldn't able to find pure water, because whether some gases are dissolved in it, whether microorganisms present there, whether minerals are dissolved in it. For example, if we talk about rainwater, when it rains, the rainwater also dissolves the gases which are present in the atmosphere in it. For example, if we talk about the spring water, so that spring water have also minerals dissolved in it. So neither water is pure. Okay, what do you think? Which water we drink, is it pure? Yes. The water which we drink, is it pure or impure? Impure. It's a mineral water. See, there are minerals dissolved in it, and we are not able to, use or drink pure water for a long period of a time, because our body always need those minerals and the essential nutrients which are only come inside our body by the water only. If we are going to use the purest water, we are going to have a deficiency of those minerals. Okay, till here, is this clear to all of you? Okay. The water which we obtain from the natural sources have variety of substances which are present in it. The most important, dissolved oxygen, which is, okay, there is a one misconception over here. Water is H2O. So dissolved oxygen doesn't refer to this. It's a water. This oxygen is a part of water. Dissolved oxygen refers to a O2 molecule
In the H2.
in the whole water. And that's why all the fishes can survive, because they respire inside the water. Right? They have a gills, and from gills they take oxygen which is dissolved in the water. Further, not only oxygen, carbon dioxide also get dissolved in the water. Okay, but oxygen is beneficial because it is used by the aquatic life. Then we have a metal compounds, which we can call it minerals, but not all of them are mineral, because some are the essential minerals for our life, for our growth, which are beneficial, but some are toxic as well. Okay. Then there is a plastic, which harms aquatic life, which are very harmful. There is sewage, which contains all harmful microorganisms in it. There are microorganisms present in the water. Beside this, we have these ions in water. This nitrate ion always comes from fertilizers, because when the fertilizers are put it in the farms, and when the water is provided to the farm, these dissolve in water and then drain with the water to reach the water resources. And beside this, the detergents also contain phosphate ion.
Water filtering.
How they become soluble? How is it filtered? And by filtration, we only able to remove the things which are solid. But the thing which get dissolved, we can't separate it from filtration, right? Okay. So what these things do, these two especially, these leads to the deoxygenation and damage the aquatic life. So these are also harmful. Is this clear?
Fertilizer.
Yeah, if there is a so much amount in water. Yes, Aisha, Khatija, Aisha, Osman, and Ammar, is this clear to all of you? Okay. Now, there are these three steps which are actually
Yes, sir.
or performed before providing the water supplies to our houses and all the, domestic places. The first is filtration and sedimentation. In filtration and sedimentation, when we do this, what will happen? All the, solid particles which are present in the water were removed through the filtration and the sedimentation process. Then we use carbon. What happens with the carbon? That it removes, if there is any taste or any bad smells in the water, that all will be removed by the carbon. And then chlorine is added, which kills the microorganisms in water. And then we get the water supplies in our home after going through these three procedures. So this is all about water. So we are done with the environmental chemistry, air and water. Here, if you guys see their past papers, you will find they are also very easy. There are few things, it's basically memory based.
So after being
Okay. Okay. So now from the next class, we are going to start with the energy changes. Exothermic and endothermic reactions. Then we will do the rate of reaction, and then we will do the reversible reactions. So after this, I think then we will be moving towards
organic.
Yeah, organic. Okay. Yes, Khatija, Ammar, Aisha, Osman, and Aisha. If any one of you have any question, please ask.
Sir,
Yes,
what
Khatija.
is sedimentation?
Basically, filtration, you all know what is filtration. Sedimentation.
What is sedimentation?
See, yes. Sedimentation is when there are very big particles, we keep water for to some places where we hold it still, there is no flowing of water. So the solid particles, which are very heavy, settle down at the bottom, and the solid particles, which are very big and lighter, comes on the top. So we remove these bigger solid particles like this, and that is called sedimentation. Filtration is a
Okay, sir.
screen or a net from which the water is flowing through. So any solids are restricted by that screen or net, and all the water goes. That is filtration. Yes. Yes. Any other questions? Yes, Amar. Is it clear?
जी sir.
Okay. Yes. Aisha and Aisha Osman. And then Khatija. Okay. So we will be ending the class over here, and we will do energy changes in our next class. Okay. Take care, everyone. Allah Hafiz.